I'm back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. And I want to welcome you to Mental Health Moments. Some of you may be here for the very first time. Welcome. Some of you may be tuning in every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Welcome back. But it's Dr. Hammond here with your Mental Health Moment. Thank you for those who are starting to join here. And happy 2020. It is a new year. It is the start of a new decade. And really, I feel like it's going to be a start of many, many amazing things, right? So welcome to Mental Health Moment. Thank you for those who are continuing to join here. It's Dr. Hammond here. And today I really want to take a moment, and hi for Doretta that's starting to join and others that are starting to join here. Happy 2020, as I was just mentioning. And hello to Ty that just joined, and Sandra, welcome. And I want to give you all 3 tips today of how to really better yourself going into 2020, because that really seems to be a theme that I'm hearing from so many people of just how do you better yourself, right? How do you work on your wellness? And Happy New Year, Doretta, to you as well. Sandy, welcome. Dion, welcome. Good evening to you. Jasmine, welcome. Vanessa, welcome. Thank you all so much for joining. And today we're talking about 3 tips of how to really be a better person in 2020 and how to work on your wellness and your well-being. And the first tip I have, it's actually my favorite tip. So I'm going to give it to you first. The first tip that I have for you is and you should write these things down. And if you're joining a little later, you can always rewind. If you're watching live, then it'll be on the Facebook page here. But the first tip is to try something new every single month for 2020 related to your wellness. And there's so many things that you can try. So it can be something that you haven't done in a really, really long time, but you used to enjoy, maybe a hobby, or it can be something that you've never, ever done before. So let me know what you all are thinking here, and welcome for those who are continuing to join here. Donald and Linda, welcome. Vanessa from Guyana, Rhonda, Dion from Maryland. I will actually be in Maryland coming up in a couple of days here. Gloria, welcome. So we're talking about 3 tips today of how to really work on your wellness and work on being a better version of you for 2020. And the first tip, as I just mentioned, was to try something new in your life. Try something new maybe that you've never tried before, you haven't tried in a long time. So for example, last year, I can't believe I'm saying last year. We just started 2020 and I'm already saying last year. It's so weird. But last year, in 2019, I tried what's called sound therapy for the first time ever, and it was a really neat experience. I'm very open to all things wellness, and sound therapy. Basically, there was my sound therapist who I was on this table, kind of like a massage table, and she had like Tibetan. What do you call it, symbols and bells, and there were all these sounds that were happening. She did a little bit of Reiki, for those of you who have heard of that as well. Just a lot of like energy healing, basically, was the process. I found it to be a really pleasant experience. There's no pain involved or anything like that, of course. And it's really designed to help align your energy and to help your chakras and those sort of things, if you're into that. And you may be like, Dr. Hammond, absolutely not. I never ever want to try that. Which is cool, so don't, you know what I mean? But that for me was something that I tried this month, because by the way, I follow many of the things that I teach you all on Mental Health Moment. I follow myself because I am about wellness and well-being and being a better version of myself, and to be a better version to really serve, right, the community. So yeah, one of the things I'm going to be trying this month, and I'm really excited to try, is salt therapy. And I don't know if you all have heard of that, but basically it's where you sit in a room, in a salt room. So there's all these specialized salts and all this sort of thing, but it's supposed to have a lot of really good benefits and calming benefits and just rejuvenating your mind and your soul, physically, emotionally. And I'm really excited to try that, for example. But there's a lot of things that you can try, and try something new every month. Oh, so Sandra, yes, thank you for writing that. And Rhonda Timmons said, doing that, started back fishing. I love that. Actually, Rhonda, I'm glad you brought that up, because so some of you that have been tuning into Mental Health Moment, I was telling you a couple mental health moments ago that I actually recently filmed a show with a host. His name is Ronnie Green. It's a fishing show, and it'll be airing next month in February on CBS Sports. And I hadn't gone fishing in so long, and it was so much fun. Like, we had a blast, and I was like, man, I want to go fishing more often now. So actually, come to think of it, I'm glad you brought that up, because I'll probably be adding that into my wellness for like the month of February or so. And I do live in Florida, for many of you who are maybe joining for the first time ever, so I won't be doing any ice fishing. I will be doing fishing in sunny Florida. But nonetheless, maybe I'll do that one day when I'm traveling somewhere else. But thanks for bringing that up. And Tanya, thanks for joining. Happy New Year also to you, Karen from Boston. Juliet, good night, good evening to you as well. And Patricia Roy. Jaretta said, what can I do to help me sleep good at night? I have heart disease and I'm so restless. I've tried to use lavender mister on my pillow to soothe me. It seems to help. You know what? That's a really good question too. And so some of the things that we're talking about today, for those of you just now joining, we're talking about 3 tips to really help you going into this new year and to help you as far as wellness. And the first tip was to try something new or something you haven't done in a long time every single month. And then Jaretta just asked basically about how to help with sleep. And that's a really great question. I actually get that a lot in my practice. And so I know, as you mentioned, you said you were using the maybe like lavender essential oils and things like that, which I have heard of some people doing. I have heard of some people using music. Some people use melatonin. Some people, I mean, there's so many things to try. To be quite honest, though, I'm not a sleep specialist by any means, but I've worked with a lot of people with sleep issues due to different reasons. And one of the things it's positive and kind of, but it's a little bit of a trial and error when it comes to the sleep thing. So there's a lot of things to try. It's just that, of course, depending on the person, not one thing works more than the other. But a lot of people that I've spoken to, just anecdotal evidence is melatonin has worked well for so many people. So that's really a great question. And Christy said, make every day intentional and purposeful in 2020. I absolutely love that. Sandra, God bless you too. Fishing is relaxing. I agree, says Jaretta. Start reading again, said Sandra. I like that. I really like what you all are including, because some of you may be going back really through some of the comments here, and you may find a suggestion as well. There's so many things. So Sandra says, start reading again. I've gotten away from that. And I absolutely love reading as well. I'm usually flying every week somewhere, so I'm often reading on planes a lot of the time. So Jaretta says, is melatonin okay for a heart patient? You know what? I am definitely going to refer that specifically to your physician. So for those of you who are joining for the first time, I am Dr. Hammond, but I'm a psychologist, not a medical doctor, so psychologist. And my specialty is actually children and families. So definitely, I would definitely say to follow up with a physician with that, because I'm not sure as far as the melatonin. I know a lot of people have used it that I know of, but they haven't necessarily, have the heart stuff. So definitely double check on that. But thank you all for your comments and some of the things that you were saying that you're going to start doing for the new year here. So the first thing, again, try something new every single month, something that's exciting. It could be one of the things I want to remind you of, especially when it comes to self-care, is, life happens, right? So one month you may be like, okay, I got a bonus this month. I want to go away for the weekend somewhere. Cool. One month you may be like, you know what? This is not the month. It was just the holidays. Things are a little bit tight. Then don't, like do something self-care at home, let's say, or do something that may just take 15 minutes or an hour that can really be beneficial to you, that costs nothing. There's a lot right out there. or very, very minimal. So it really depends on your situation, your time, your budget, but there's so much that you can do. The major thing I want you to remember with this tip, though, is that you have to make the commitment or put it on your calendar. If you have, like I have on my phone is like my my life and my calendar, but put it in your calendar, like make an appointment with yourself, basically. So whatever you're going to do, for some of you, if you said reading, if you said fishing, if you're going to do some type of self-care somewhere, if you're going to even take that time at home, put it, like, find the date and put it in your calendar, and at least once a month. If you can do it more than that, that would be awesome, but at least once a month. The second tip that I want to, Rhonda said, I'm from Florida, also wonderful. Jasmine says, positive bowling or reading, hanging out with your godly friends or family. I love that too. I love that. Before I go to the second tip, I just want to mention what Jasmine said about bowling or, hanging out with your friends, godly friends or family. I really love that idea. I've been hearing that so much. So I'm speaking at different places and a lot of times about self-care and wellness. And that is something that is coming up a lot that I'm hearing, that people want to spend more time with their loved ones. And I love that. And myself included, that's actually one of my New Year's resolutions in 2020, because my schedule gets crazy hectic, like everyone's, right? So, and my friends and I mutually have agreed, let's try to spend more time together, especially our little, fun girl brunches or a lunch or just a get together, and just for the fellowship. So I'm really glad you brought that up. I love that. And I hope that many of you also will really have that on your list in some way. So that's really great. The second tip that I want to let you know about, that you should write down, is that I want you to think about reaching out this year, 2020, reaching out more often to others to express your gratitude. So what does that look like? Well, I can say for myself, I'm still old-fashioned. I still use my handwritten notes and my thank you cards and all of that. Not that old, I don't think, but I'm still old school when it comes to the handwritten stuff. So I tend to do that a lot. Of course, a text message works just as well, an email. You can even pick up the phone and call someone, or social media, whatever works for you. But the biggest thing to realize is that two things. One, when you're expressing gratitude, I can't even tell you, I just can't even tell you. I've talked to thousands of people at this point in my life and my career, and you just never know how that is going to affect that person you were talking to. You don't know necessarily everything that's going on in their life. You don't know what kind of day they're having. You don't know what's going on with them, frankly. So for you to do that to someone and to just express your gratitude, it could be for the smallest things, big things, medium things, whatever, is so important. But also, secondly, it is something that is beneficial for you and for your well-being. And there's a lot of studies on that, about how it affects us. I mean, it affects us in so many ways, physically, emotionally, spiritually, you can say, to really express your gratitude to others. So that's really, really important. Sherry said, first time listening, I'm from Maryland. Great topic. Hi, Sherry. There's a lot of people from Maryland tonight, which is actually where I'll be the next couple of days. So welcome, Sherry, first time. Let's see. Cynthia said, I don't bowl, but I'm going bowling tomorrow evening. Wonderful. I absolutely love fishing. Too cold in Indiana right now. I haven't been fishing in 8 years. Wow. Yes, I will admit, I am very blessed and very lucky to be in Florida. Well, I reside in Florida, often traveling on Mental Health Moment here, but so it is semi-warm here. Got a little cold the last couple of days, but definitely I'm seeing a theme too. Like, everyone loves fishing, which is really neat. And like I said, I just recently went, and it was so much fun, and I can't wait to go back and take my son and introduce him to fishing. So, let's see. Sherry says she likes to do handwritten thank you notes also. Absolutely. It's just really nice to do, and people like receiving them. And Rhonda said, thank you for that tip. I really need to do that more often. Yes. So the second tip, for those of you just now starting to tune in, we're talking about 3 tips to move into this new year, this new decade, this new opportunity, because with a new year and a new decade, I mean, really, it's a brand new beginning, right? So there's an opportunity for you to continue to better yourself, work on yourself, and to be better, and to really incorporate wellness into your life and make a commitment to do that is going to be so important. So the second tip I just talked about was reaching out more often to those that you need to express your gratitude for. So whether that is someone in your family, whether that is a friend, if it's a coworker, if it's a neighbor, an acquaintance, whomever, right? Just really taking that time to do so. It's very impactful for that other person, and it's impactful for you as well, for your well-being, to take that step and to do that. So make sure that you're doing that moving into 2020 here. The last tip, the third tip is, this is a really important one too. The third tip is really to work on, so the first two we're talking about doing, like, what do you do? What do you do? But the last tip is just to think about just being and just feeling and being okay with the ups and downs of life that is guaranteed to come about. So a lot of times, I mean, everywhere you look on social media, everything's about happiness. Like, you got to be happy, you got to be happy, you got to be happy, which is great. I'm not saying you shouldn't. Of course, we should always strive for happiness, but it's completely unrealistic to think that every single day of your life, you're going to be happy. Totally unrealistic, right? Because there's just going to be times when there's a struggle, there's something that happens. So when you feel the anger, when you feel the frustration, when you feel the disappointment, all of the heavier emotions, I want you really to think about this year to work on feeling those things and being okay, because you're human, to have that experience as you move through that. So no, the goal is not to stay in a place of anger or frustration or resentment, disappointment, whatever, kind of stronger or maybe negative emotion that you're feeling. It's not a goal to stay there, but there should be a goal to have that as an experience and to be okay with that, because it means you're absolutely normal. A lot of us, we want to put on these superhero capes, especially for women. A lot of times, I know I'm guilty of that myself. Sometimes we just want to put it on, be a superhero, and do everything for everyone except for ourselves. So this year, again, I really want you to think about just being, feeling, being okay. You are human. None of us are perfect. And knowing that those things will pass with time. Charlene's coming in from North Carolina. Great to see you. Good evening to Mary. Thank you for joining. I want to wish each and every one of you an amazing, amazing 2020. If you need me at any time, my information is here in the chat here. drnekeshiahammond.com is my website. And on Facebook, I recently started a page, it's facebook.com/positive healthy thoughts. And basically it just has quotes and inspirational messages on it, because each and every one of us need to be uplifted and just filled with really just inspiration and positivity, which is why I created the page. So feel free to check that out. I'm also on Instagram. And again, for those of you just joining, we talked about 3 tips today. The first thing is to try something new every single month related to self-care, something new, something exciting, something's fun. And the second thing is to reach out to more people, express your gratitude. And the third thing is just to be sometimes, instead of we're so busy caught up doing, and to feel some of the emotions, whether it's positive, whether it's negative, and for us to all take that as a learning experience. So Jasmine said, be good and not fall. And you know what? And even if some of us, we will, all of us, myself included, like we fall down sometimes, and that's okay. It's all about getting back up, and that's what it's about. It's completely okay to fall, but we all just got to get back up, right? Cynthia said the third point was on point. Thank you, Cynthia. Sandra said, work on being okay with life's ups and downs. Number 3. Thank you. Thank you for typing that in there. Sherry said, that I had to take the S off my chest and realize I also need self-care. Yay! That's awesome. That's so awesome because it's so, so true, you all. Like, and it's okay. By the way, it is okay to be a superhero sometimes. We can put on the cape, but sometimes we got to take it off for a second and make sure we're taking care of ourselves too, because we can't be the superhero running around helping everyone else if we're not okay. So we have to be okay. We have to sustain ourselves and take care of ourselves to be the best version for other people and for ourselves as well. Mary said, amen. Rhonda said, being okay with life's ups and downs is something I definitely got to work on. So that'll be a life goal for me. You know what, before I go really quick, I got to get over here for the next person, but I'm glad you brought that up because these are 3 tips that I'm giving you for 2020. But I would love if you made these tips also, just like Rhonda said, your life goals, because personal development, I tell you all the time, but personal development is absolutely a lifelong process. Please don't beat yourself up if maybe one of these tips, especially doing something new for the month of January or February, you're like, man, I didn't do anything that month. Don't beat yourself up. Try again the next month, because try again the next year, you know, whatever it is, because it's true. It's very true. That's a great point. These are really life goals, but start in 2020. let's stick with the present moment. But they're absolutely life goals. So I appreciate you bringing that up. And Mary said that my goal this year is taking care of myself. Me too. So you guys are awesome. I will see you next time, Tuesdays, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Black Women Empowered Incorporated. And before I go, a quick super duper huge thank you to Dr. Jackie King, who is just one of the most amazing beings I've ever met in my life. She is the reason for Black Women Empowered Incorporated. She is the founder of this page. So huge thank yous to her because she's amazing. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.